सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। In mantra number 3, there was this admonition, rebuking of the avidwan, the ignorant person. Through the admonition of that ignorant person, there is this praise of vidwan, the wise person, or the person who is a sadhaka, a jignasu. That Bhashyakara explained, Atmahanana doshena samsaranti. They continue to be in samsara by their own ignorance, which is likened to killing Atma, killing oneself. That is said. Okay. For other a killing is seen as a papa, an act of papa. And for acts of papa, dushkarma, there are remedial actions are there, prayashchittas are there. Like going to Kashi itself is a prayashchitta. Taking a dip in Ganga is a great prayashchitta, etc. It is there. But for this Atmahananam, killing Atma, is there any other prayashchitta? There is no prayashchitta for it. The only answer is to no, that is all. There is no other prayashchitta. Every other papa, there is prayashchitta possibly. But for Atmahananam, killing Atma, as if we are destroying Atma, there is no other prayashchitta, only samsara is the phalam, the result of it. Prayashchitta here, the solution is only Atma Jnanam. Okay. Bhashyakara introduce the next mantra here. Yasya Atmanaha Hananat Avidvamsaha samsaranti tad viparyayena vidvamsaha janaha muchyante te na atmahanaha tad कीदृशम् आत्मतत्त्वम् iti uchyate. Yasya atmanaha hananat. By killing which that atma, avidvansaha samsaranti. The ignorant people continue in samsara, samsaranti, keep on becoming endlessly, otherwise endlessly becoming, always only to find oneself as unfulfilled, samsaranti. By killing atma, that is by not knowing atma, the person continues to be in samsara, continues to suffer smallness, etc. And tad viparyayena, in contrast to that, viparyaya, in contrast to that, vidvansaha janaha, the knowledgeable people, the wise people, muchyante, discover the freedom, the unconditional, lasting freedom. Those people, wise people, na atmahanaha, they are not the killers of atma, they are not atmahanaha. By Bhashyakara points out the Anvaya Vitireka. Knowing atma is not atmahananam, not killing atma. Not knowing atma is killing atma, amounts to killing, like killing. Bhashyakara explained what is that killing, etc. He pointed out. Vidyamanasya atmanaha, etc. He pointed out in the previous Bhashya. He pointed out. That means, by ignorance, one continues to be in samsara. By atma jnana, one discovers the freedom, owns the freedom. Therefore, the Anvaya Vitireka. By not knowing atma, one has samsara, which is anishtam, which is unbearable, which is undesirable. By knowing atma, one becomes free. Therefore, atma jnana is the sadhana, the means for freedom, discovering freedom, liberation. That is said here. Now, the question is, what is this atma? What is the swarupam of atma? What is the jnanam about atma? That has to be said. By knowing atma, one becomes free. By not knowing atma, one continues in samsara. That is said in the third mantra. But what is the nature of atma? Bhashyakara says, Tat atma tattvam. That principle, the truth of atma, kidrisham, what is it like? What is the nature of atma? Iti said, iti uchyate. This is said here in this mantra. We'll read the mantra. Anejat ekam manaso javiyaha nainat deva apnuvan purvamarshate tadhavatonyān atyeti tikthate tasmin napo matarishva dadhati. Anejat. Ejat means age, to tremble, to shake, to move. Ejr kampane, to shake, to tremble, to move, to change. Na ejat anejat, that which does not move, does not change, that's the idea. Unmoving, unchanging. Any movement means there is a change. Change means it is not lasting. Anything that is subject to change is time bound. In fact, change is a phenomenon, something which happens in time. But Atma Tattvam is anejat, does not move, does not change, because it is nitya. Nitya, being nitya, it is anejat. The dhatu age is Atmanepada usually, but here the mantra uses the Parasmaipada. Age plus Shatru. The Pratyaya Shatru is Parasmaipada. But then the Shruti uses Parasmaipada here. Ejat na ejat. neuter, therefore ejat, anejat, not moving, not changing. And then ekam is non-dually one. Wherever we see the word ekam with reference to Ishvara, Brahma, Atma, we always include ekam advitiyam, non-dually one. Why we say advitiyam? Because everything is ekam only. This table is one, the book is one, okay. Everything is, there is singularity about, uniqueness about everything. Even though all of us have this book, almost all of us have this book, but then this book is different from the book that you have. It's a copy. This copy is different from the other copies. Like the Vaiseshika says, this book enjoys, even though it is identical that with the other books, but this still has an individual existence as real as the other books. Therefore, this is unique. There is a uniqueness about every entity. So, I am unique, you are unique, the table is unique, etc. There is some uniqueness, there is some particular specificness about the every object. Therefore, ekam does not really explain Ishvara Tattva. It will be like saying that Ishvara is one more thing. Like this book is one thing and this lens is another thing, one more thing. This is also ekam, this is also ekam. So too, I am ekam, Ishvara also is eka. So that's what it would mean. Therefore, one more thing, that's all. Unique, very individual, that's what it would mean. And therefore here, that is not being said here. It is one, it is not the meaning, not the complete meaning. It is non-dually one. That is say that there is no other real vastu, a true entity, there is nothing else. That's why it is ekam. We always take in advitiyam, non-dually one. Everything else being namarupa, that is kalpita, the truth is only one, like the water for the waves. So, ekam advitiyam. And then, manasaha javiyaha. Java means speed, fast, right? Speed. Javiyaha means that which is very fast. Javavat taram, Bhashyakara explains, Javavat taram. Java is speed, Javavat is speedy, okay. That which has speed is Javavat, okay. Suppose this object is moving, okay. So this has speed, okay. That's a speedy object, speedy thing, that which has speed, that is Javavat. And what about, what is being said here is Javavat taram, speedier, or the speediest, okay. Here, it is said manasaha javiyaha. Manasaha, fifth case, even faster than the mind. Mind is very fast. Among the things that we know, mind is very fast. So, sitting here in a trice, in the flicking of the hand, finger, my mind goes elsewhere. Sitting here, it goes to Kashi. Okay, some 1,000 kilometers, right? In a trice, it goes to Kashi. Not literally, but thinks about, remembers, etc. Kashi. So, mind is said to be very fast. But what about Atma? Faster than the mind. Manasaha javiyaha. Wherever the mind goes, whatever the mind thinks about, that's the idea. Whatever the mind thinks about, whatever the mind remembers, even as there, the Sakshi of that thought, that memory, I am there, Atma, as the Sakshi of that mind also is there. So, Manasaha Javiyaha. So, this object moves, say, both the objects are here, and then this object moves faster, say, okay, and then this object moves faster to that point, and when this object goes, this is already there. When this object left this point, this was there, and as this object reached that point, This object is already there because it is faster. So this is like Sakshi. When the mind starts moving, I am the Sakshi, I am there. And then the mind starts moving towards something, thinks of something, I am already there as the Sakshi of it. Therefore I am faster than the mind. Atma is the Sakshi, faster than the mind. Manasaha Javiyaha. Now here, there is some seeming contradiction. The first word is Anejat, not moving, okay? And this one says faster than the mind. What do you mean by fast? That which moves alone can be fast, okay? Standing. I am sitting very fast. I am not moving fastly. What is this? So, what is a non-moving object? And then it is said is non-moving, now it is said very fast. What is this? A seeming contradiction here. Either it can be non-moving or it can be moving alone. Only moving thing is fast. This is said to be very fast. How is it possible? This is not a contradiction. Therefore, Bhashyakara points out here in the Bhashya, Nirupadhi, that is Atma, is looked upon in two ways. Ishvara, Brahma is looked upon in two ways. With the Upadhi and without the Upadhi. With the Upadhi it is fast. Without the Upadhi, Nirupadhika, it is non-moving, not changing. Therefore, two ways of seeing, understanding. That is a wholesome understanding, Atma, Brahma, Nirupadhika and Sopadhika. With the Upadhi and without the Upadhi. With the mind, the Upadhi, or Maya Upadhi, Ishvara is said to be, Atma is said to be very fast, being the Sakshi of it. Without the Upadhi, not moving. So therefore there is no contradiction here. Because there are two drishtis, twofold perception, twofold way of understanding, seeing Atma. Therefore no contradiction. Alright, further. Na enat devaha apnuvan. Devaha na apnuvan. Devas do not reach. Devas do not reach this. Apnuvan do not reach this or do not overtake this. What are the devas here? We can say Deva, Indra, Agni, Varuna are the devas, we can say. Or we can say Deva, the senses are referred to as devas. The eyes and ears, the mind, they are said to be devas. Why so? Because the word Deva comes from the root Div. Div means to shine, to be brilliant. Now the sense organs are shining, they reveal things, they are sentient, they reveal things, color, etc. They reveal, and therefore they are said to be devas, being sentient, being the revealer of color, sound, etc. They are said to be devaha. Dyotanat, because they illumine the color, the sound, etc. Therefore the sense organs are called devaha in a sense. Also, there is this adhyatma and adidaiva, percept is there. Indra is adidaiva. In an individual, in a living being, the balam, the strength, the power in the individual is the Indra. So, in adhyatma, with reference to a living being, Indra manifests as the very power, as the capacity, as the Shakti in the body, etc. And Aditya is Adidaiva. The Devata, Aditya Deva, Surya Devata is the Adidaiva. And it obtains in the eye as the power of seeing. And therefore, what is Adidaiva is represented, is fine. We find the matching entity in the living being also, and therefore there in the sky there is Surya, here in this body as the power of seeing, sight, the light of seeing, Aditya is there, and therefore Devaha, it's alright. So the sense organs and mind also are called Devaha, the Adhyatma corresponding element in the body, in the individual, corresponding to Surya Here there is I. Corresponding to Vayu, there is this sense of touch, etc. is there. Corresponding to Chandra, right, there is this mind. Therefore, there is a correspondence, and therefore, these are also called Devaha. Alright, Devaha na apnuvan. So, Atma is not gotten by the Devas. That is to say that Atma does not become an object of perception or even of the mind. It is not an object. It is not objectified by the sense organs like perception and mind, inference, etc. It is not a pramana gochara. It is not a gochara. It does not fall within the scope of any pramana. Does not become an object of any pramana, prameya, vyavahara. That is what is said here. Devaha na apnuvan. Also we see, as we saw yesterday, in the Kenopanishad we see Indra, Agni and Vayu could not know what is this Paramatma, the Yaksha, the brilliant entity. They could not know. Without the Upadesha of the Pramana, without the use of the Pramana, without the Upadesha, they could not know. Themselves they could not know. Therefore Devaha also it applies. Indradi Devas also themselves do not know. We see in many places in the Purana, we see Devas go to Vishnu, Mahavishnu or Shiva and then they praise, right? And then when they praise, part of the praise they say, we do not know you. We don't know you who you are really. We do not really comprehend you fully. You are too big for our comprehension. You are beyond our comprehension, etc. This very often we see this sort of this. The words of praise, etc. is there. So very clearly, Sarvajna, Sarvavit, Sarvashakti, and then Sarvavyapi cannot be comprehended by a limited entity in its fullness. Of course, in part one may see, but not in its fullness. Even we also understand, comprehend Ishvara in some little aspect we do comprehend, we understand. When we say that Ishvara is Sarvajna, yes, it is true. It is not that we do not know totally, not that we know, we understand it completely also. Right? What do we mean by all knowing? Only, so when we say Gata knowledge, the knowledge of a book, when we say knowledge of a pot, when we say the object, the pot as an object is known, but then Sarva, when we say what is this Sarva? Right? What is this Sarva? What is this all? Do we know all this all? What do we mean by all? We use a word all, etc. All right, but then do we really know what is this all? We do not know. So Sarvajna is only we understand it only in part only we understand. And it is okay with what we can know with our mind, and we can say that Ishvara is Sarvajna, it is valid, we will be right, even though we do not understand in full. Even part understanding of Ishvara, right, it is equivalent to knowing the Ishvara, of course not in full, but it is knowing Ishvara. It is not knowing Ishvara, it is knowing Ishvara, of course not in fullness, yes. So, Devaha, etc., knew Ishvara alright, but not in Ishvara's entirety, they do not know. Also, Ishvara is the Adhishtanam, the very truth of all the Devas, and therefore Ishvara is said to be the Karana, the causal entity, the truth of all, whereas Deva, etc. is seen as Karya. The Karya succeeds, the Karana precedes. What is preceding, what exists before, is not revealed by, is not proven by. This existence of what is preceding is not because of what is succeeding, the Karya. Right? The effect does not give an existence to the Karana, the cause. So, Devaha na apnuvan. In Adidaiva Drishti also and Adhyatma Drishti also, both Drishti, Devaha na apnuvan. Why? Devaha napnuvan purvam arshat. The word arshat is a past tense form. Usually it should be arshat. The art, that a should be there in the past tense form. But the mantra uses at only, akar. Instead of saying arshat, it says arshat. This is chandasa. Anyway, the shruti usage arshat. It comes from the root rish. Rish to know. Rishati, janati. The word rishi comes from rish dhatu. Rishi, seer, the knower, one who knows. So, arshat means it already knew. Purvam arshat, it already knows. So, whatever is there, Ishvara, Brahmatma, knows it already, because also we say that it is already there. Right, okay. Purvam arshat. It has also the sense of gati also, the arshat also means gati. It already reached. Like we said, manasaha javiyaha, faster than the mind, because as the sakshi, as the truth, it is already there. Where the mind goes, it already is there. As the truth of the mind, as the sakshi of the mind, that is said by arshat. Purvameva arshat. It has already reached. Okay, already reached. And then further it said, tad dhāvataha anyan atyeti. Anyan, other things which are dhāvataha. Dhavan singular, dhāvataha plural. Second case plural. That those which are running, the other moving things. Anyan dhāvataha, the other moving things. Other things are moving, changing. Okay. Mind is moving. Eye is moving in the sense that it knows the color and shape, etc. The ear is moving in the sense that it knows the sound. Okay? Mind is moving in the sense that it knows, it understands, it thinks about. So, things are moving. And what about Atma Tattva? Atyeti, it overtakes. Overtakes because it is faster. Faster because it is the truth of all. It is the sakshi of all. Therefore, seemingly it overtakes all. Atiyeti goes beyond, right? Overtakes. It's a simple translation. It outruns, it is said here, outruns. Tadhavataha anyan atyeti. It outruns all the other moving things, mind, etc. as the truth of it, as the sakshi of all. But itself, tishtat, not moving, standing it is, stationary, it does not move, does not change. Then Tasmin Saptami, Sati Saptami, Atma being there, Brahma being there, Ishvara being there, Tasmin. It's not in Ishvara, in that, but it is this being there. Atma being there, Ishvara being there, Tasmin. Matarishva. Matarishva is Hiranyagarbha, Sutratma. The firstborn is called the firstborn, Brahma, etc. That is said as Brahma, Sutratma, Hiranyagarbha. That is the Matarishva here. Matarishva, Apaha Dadhati. Apaha is the second case, plural of Ap Shabda. Up means water. Here, Apaha means water, that is, it refers to, it does not literally refer to water, but it refers to karma phala, etc. Various karmas and various powers, when I say karma, it refers to various capacities, right? Roles, etc. Action, roles, etc. Powers is the apaha. Also refers to karma phalam. How it refers to karma phala, we will see in the karma and phala, we will see in the bhashya, we will see. Atma being there, Ishvara being there, Brahma being there. The Hiranyagarbha distributes dadhati, apportions karma to various entities, the various shakti, the powers to various entities. Like even the hand has a power of bending, folding, etc., is grasping, the various shaktis to the hand, an instrument, an organ. Also to devas, the various shaktis are there. The Surya, the sun, has a power of illumining, has a power of shining, have the power of giving heat. These are all the powers for that, and also attracting is all there. So, various powers that we see in the various all the objects in the universe and all the living beings, and also in the devas. That's all a portion granted, dadhati, granted by Ishvara, granted by Brahma. Brahma, Sutratma, apportions, Surya, this is your role, this will be your powers to shine, to illumine, to be hot, to be pulling the planets, holding the planets together towards you, right? This will be your power. O Agni, you will have the power to burn, to be hot, etc., to shine. Vayu, you will have the power to move around, to and also to enliven all the living beings in the form of prana. You will have this power. Like that, the Hiranyagarbha apportions, distributes the various powers and capacities to all the devas and also the all other beings, entities. Tasmin. How is this possible? All this is possible, Ishvara being there. Right? In the presence, very presence of Atma Brahma, Hiranyagarbha Virat gives all the entities their own nature, their own powers, their own capacities, their own action, usefulness, etc. Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha distributes. Okay. Elsewhere we see that it's given by Ishvara. Now you say Hiranyagarbha gives. Ishvara is Hiranyagarbha. No problem. You say Ishvara gives elsewhere. Now here it is said Hiranyagarbha gives. Are they not different? No. The one and the same, because Ishvara hi Hiranyagarbha. Ishvara alone is the Hiranyagarbha manifest. Therefore, there is no Hiranyagarbha is said to be the first manifestation, Sutratma, Brahma, the first manifestation of Ishvara with the Upadhi, with the power to create, etc., the ruler, etc., ordainer, ruler, as the governor, etc. There is this actor, Arnold Schwarzenegger is there, a very famous actor. That person, he acted in a film called Terminator, okay, a very famous film. And later he became the governor of the California state. Then he was the only person who became a governor and who acted in Terminator also. So they called him governator, okay? Not a governor, but a governator. So Hiranyagarbha is the governator of the entire universe, whole prapancha. Governor, terminator also. So Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, it's all there, no? Ishvara does. Therefore, Ishvara alone manifests as the Hiranyagarbha, and therefore there is no problem, there is no contradiction. The Swarupa being there, right? The Nirupadika Swarupa being there, Tasmin being there, and then Sopadika as Hiranyagarbha, as Ishvara, as Brahma, etc. They all there. That's possible, that happens. Therefore, Tasmin Matarishva, Nirupadika Swarupa being there, right? The Upadi free Swarupa, the true nature being there, and then with the Upadi as Hiranyagarbha, etc. That's the role, the power to apportion, to govern, to rule, that's all possible. So Matarishva Apaha Dadhati. The rulership and the governorship, etc., that is there for Hiranyagarbha because of, and Hiranyagarbha, Brahma is said to be the creator, Vishnu is said to be the sustainer, the provider, and Rudra or Shiva is said to be the one who resolves or dissolves, etc. So that is all possible. The three Murti, right? The role, all the role, it's all possible because of Nirupadika, Param Brahma, Atma being there. So Tasmin Sati Matarishva Apaha Dadati. The whole Prapancha Nirvaha, the entire Prapancha, the carrying on, keeping it in order, etc. That's all happening. Atma being there, Brahma being there. Okay. Tasmin Apaha Matarishva Dadati. Now we'll see the Bhashya. Now, before we see the Bhashya, this mantra points out, mentions certain Lakshana, Swarupa of Atma Brahma. What are they? We can list. One, it says Ekam. Atma Brahma is Ekam. That is one Swarupa. Atma Ekaha, Brahma Ekam. Advitiyam Ityartha. Brahma Atma is Advitiya. By saying Ekam itself, we can say Atma is one, Brahma is one, and both are one. That's also right. Both are one. Atma is Brahma. The very word Ekam means that Atma is not many. Jivatma are many, seemingly many, because of the Upadis, manyness of multiplicity of Upadi. Jivatmas are many. Like the reflections in the number of mirrors, reflections are many. So too, and Ghatakasha are many. As many Ghatas, so many Ghatakasha, part spaces. So many parts, as many parts, so many part spaces. But space is one. Therefore, Jivatmas are many, but Atma is one. And Brahma, Ishvara, how many? One. And therefore, the Ekam word indicates Atma is one, Ishvara is one, and Atma is one with Ishvara. Ekam, non-dual. And then the word Anejat indicates that Atma is Nitya. Not shaking, not moving, not changing. That is Nitya. Atma Brahma is Nitya. Anejat word indicates. Also, it's the Sakshi of even mind and all its activities. Manasaha Javiyaha, it points out. It is the truth of mind also, Sakshi of mind also. Therefore, Manasaha Javiyaha, it's the Sakshi indicates. Also, Atma, Brahma is understood with the Upadi, without the Upadi. In the twofold drishti, twofold perception. Without the Upadi as it is, with the Upadi as it appears, as it is perceived. Okay. Without the Upadi, with the Upadi, the twofold. Nirupadika, Sopadika, right? With the Upadi, without the Upadi. Thus, twofold Rupa, twofold, two ways it is understood. Okay. Not that it is different. Nirupadika is different, Sopadika is different. It is the one and the same thing. Without the Upadi, Nirupadika. With the Upadi, it is Sopadika. Like even Devadatta with the hat, a hatted person. Without the hat, it is the person. Does not the hat, the presence or the absence of hat, does not make any difference. It does not change the person into anything else. The appearance differs, yes, but the person is same. So too, what is Sopadika alone is Nirupadika here. What is Nirupadika alone is seen as, in the light of Upadi, seen as Sopadika. It is not that Ishvara is different from Brahma. Ishvaro hi Brahma, Brahma hi Ishvaraha. Brahman is Ishvara, Ishvara is Brahman. Therefore, with the Upadi, Brahma Vastu is seen as Ishvara, that is all. Without the Upadi, Ishvara is Brahma. Therefore, the two-fold Drishti, Nirupadika, Sopadika of Atma Brahma is mentioned by saying Anejat, not moving, Nirupadika. Then Manasaha Javiyaha, faster than the mind, means Sopadika. That is mentioned. And then Ishvara Brahma Atma is the one who blesses, one who the Anugrahaka, one who blesses, one who graces all beings. As the very Adhishtanam, the very basis of everything, and as the one who, in the form of order, blesses everything, graces everything. Ishvara is the Anugrahaka. Brahmatma is the Anugrahaka for all that is said. Also, Tasmin Napo Matarishva Dadati, that last line indicates that Ishvara is the Niyanta, the ordainer, the ruler, the governor, that is mentioned. The one who keeps everything in position, in order. Like the horseman keeps the horses in their relative position, whatever they are, governs the horses. So too, Ishvara is the governor, ruler, Antaryami, the indweller, Antaryami. The indweller at the same time, Yamayati, in the form of, as the ruler of everything, remaining inside, rules everything. Antaryami. Ishvara is the Antaryami, that is said. There is one Antaryami Brahmana in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It goes on listing. That one obtains within the Prithvi, the earth, who knows the Prithvi, but the Prithvi does not know whom, right? And that is the Antaryami, and that is Atma, that is you. Brihadaranyaka goes on telling, repeating this. Prithivyaha antaha, yaha prithivyaha antaha tishtan prithivim yamayati yam prithvi na veda sate atma, etc. It goes on saying. That is you. The Antaryami Ishvara is the Atma of you. You are that, etc. Brihadaranyaka goes on repeating. Every entity, Prithvi it takes, and then Surya it takes, and then Nakshatra it takes, all that entities it takes. And then even Adhyatma entities also, mind, etc., Chakshu, etc., it takes. And then this is the Antaryami, which is the your Atma, it is you, it says. The Antaryami Brahmana, very nice. So, Ishvara Atma is the Antaryami of everything. Anugrahaka, Antaryami also is the Adhishtanam, the truth of everything, the basis of everything that is said. So these are the Swarupa of Atma presented. One and only, non-dually one, Ekam. And then it is Nitya, Anejat, Tishtat, etc. These two words indicate Atma is changeless, Brahma is changeless, Nitya it is. And then it has twofold forms, that is Nirupadika, Sopadika, that is also indicated here. And Ishvara Brahmatma is the Anugrahaka, the one who blesses everything, lends the very existence, power to all, the utility. A pot is useful, a table is useful, right? The usefulness is because of what? Ultimately, the usefulness is because of Ishvara, ultimately. There is a krama, could be. Table is useful because I can keep books, etc. So, in relation to me, the table is useful. Without me, the user, there is no usefulness or uselessness of the table. There is no question. Me being there, it is useful or otherwise. So, ultimately, all usefulness, all prayojana is because of Ishvara, Brahma. Ultimately. Intermediately we say the table is useful by itself because of wood, etc. For keeping books, for me, etc. We can say the usefulness in various ways we can see. But ultimately any usefulness is due to Ishvara Brahmatma only. Okay. The user is Brahmatma. What is used is also Brahmatma. Therefore, ultimately the usefulness, etc. rests with Ishvara alone. That is the Anugrahaka, one who blesses everything. And Antaryami, the ruler, the governor of everything, which keeps everything in place. Everything is in place because of the order, the niyati, that is Ishvara. And then Ishvara is Sarva Adhishtanam, the truth of all, the basis of all. This is all the core of the teaching that is mentioned here. Of course, the Upanishad expresses in its own words, that's all. Anejat, etc. In its own words, the Upanishad says, but what is said is the truth of Brahmatma, Swarupa of Brahmatma is said here. Okay. Also, it will give a further lakshanas, descriptions of Brahmatma in the following mantras also. This is that. Atyeshwar Atma Tattvam is explained. Alright. Now the Bhashya. Anejat Na Ejat Nanyatat Purusha Na Ejat Anejat. Not moving, does not move. Bhashyakara explains this. Ejr Kampane. The word Ejat, Anejat comes from Ejr. Age, the R is It letter. Ejr, the R is It letter. Age. Ejr Kampane. As listed in the Dhatu Pata. Therefore, Bhashyakara gently reminds this is what it is mean. Kampane. Kampana means shaking, trembling. The earthquake, etc. We say Bhukampa. Okay? Bhukampa. Kampa. The earth shakes. The earth trembles. Earthquake. Bhukampa, etc. We say. So Kampane, sense of shaking, trembling, moving in general. Bhashya explains that Kampanam Chalanam. Shaking here, trembling means moving. Kampanam means Chalanam, moving. What is that Chalanam mean? Moving means what? He says Swa Avastha Prachyutihi. Slipping from Prachyutihi, slipping from, moving from its earlier position, Swa Avastha, its position, Swa Avastha, Prachyutihi, moving from its position. That is what is slipping from one's position is called moving. Okay. So when we say moved, this has moved, that means it has moved from its earlier position to something else. It is not in its earlier position anymore. That is the Prachyutihi, slipping from its earlier position. That is the Chalanam. And that is what is referred to by Kampanam. And that is the Na Ejat, etc. Okay. Now what about Atma? Does it move, change? He says Tad Varjitam. Free from that movement, change. That what does it mean? Sarvada Ekarupam Ityartaha. Sarvada, always, Ekarupam, of one characteristic, of one Swarupa, one Lakshana alone. Never changes into something else. Fire, what is the Swarupa? What is the Lakshana of fire? To be hot. This is the Lakshana of fire. Now, does fire become something else? Cold fire? It's not cold fire. There is no cold fire. Relatively, we may say this fire is colder than that fire. We may say the flame temperature may be, this flame may be 1000 degrees or 2000 degrees. That flame may be 3000 degrees. So compared to 3000, 2000 is cold. Okay. It's not really cold, it's very hot. Okay. Only relatively it's called cold, but it is really very hot. So fire is that which is hot. Therefore, if fire loses its being hot, then there's no fire, that's all. Swarupa Pratyutihi, moving from, change from, its Swarupa is there, then the entity is not there, that's all. That's all the meaning. Fire lost its heat means there is no fire, that's all. Or, does Atma, does Brahma, does Ishvara lose its Swarupa, change into something else in the process of creating the universe? Ishvara became smaller and smaller. Out of Ishvara, out of itself, Ishvara created everything. Therefore, material cause, therefore less and less. Ishvara became smaller and smaller in size. No, doesn't change. Swarupa Pratyutihi is not there. Sakshi, affected, no. Remaining Sakshi, it is Kutastha, unchanging. Therefore, Bhashyakara points out, the word Anejat means Sarvada Ekaswarupam, always of one form, one Swarupa alone. And therefore it is worth being sought. Purushartha it is. What is the Ekaswarupam? What that which of Ekaswarupa is limitless, like not bound by time, etc. That alone can be Sarvada Ekarupam. The part space, right? In reference to part, small part space, big part space, etc. It is purely with reference to the part size, but itself it is of one Swarupa, limitless alone. That is being limitless. Being limitless means it is Ananta, that means it is freedom. The Mukti it is. Sarvada Ekarupam implies that it is Moksha Swarupa. Sarvada Ekaswarupam ityartaha. Anejat. Next. Tacha Ekam. Further, Tat Atma Tattvam, the true entity, Atma Brahma, is Ekam, is one. What is the meaning of one? Bhashyakara says, Sarva Bhuteshu. In all beings, it remains one. All beings, they change. One is different from the other. The table is different from the chair. But as the truth of all, Ishvara Brahma is one. Sarva Bhuteshu Ekam. The Bhuta is because of the Upadhi. The number is because of multitude, is because of Upadhi. But the truth is one. Sarva Bhuteshu Ekam. You and I are different in terms of the body Upadhi, mind Upadhi, we are different. But as the truth of the body and the mind, and as the Sakshi, we are one. We the Atma, we the Chaitanyam, is one. There is no difference between you and me in the light of truth, the truth. But in the light of Upadhi, you are different, I am different. And that Upadhi is only transactional, Vyavaharika. That does not count for reality, ultimate reality. It is purely positional, relative, and then purely from the standpoint, you and I are different. But in the light of the truth of you and me, we are one. And that is good, that holds good even for between inert and sentient entities also. In the inert object, there is no Sukshma Sharira. In the sentient being, there is a Sukshma Sharira. Presence of Sukshma Sharira makes the living being sentient, make me alive because of Sukshma Sharira. Without Sukshma Sharira, a table and the dead body, they are inert. So, only the Upadhi, the Sukshma Sharira Upadhi makes the difference between sentient and insentient, living and non-living. But truth is one, Sarva Bhuteshu Ekam. Non-dual. And then further, Manasaha Sankalpadi Lakshanat Javiyaha Javavattaram. The word Javiyaha, that means Javavattaram. Java is speed, Javavat is speedy, that which has speed, and Javavat Taram, speedier, faster, that which is faster. Javavat Taram, Java and then Javavat and then Javavat Taram. Bhashyakara explains the word Javiyaha. Faster than what? When you say faster, there has to be something else which is fast. Okay, faster. Faster than what? Manasaha Javiyaha. Faster than the mind. What is that manas mind? Bhashyakara explains Sankalpa Adi Lakshana, which is blessed with the power of Sankalpa, deliberation, etc. Deciding, etc. Taking a decision, Sankalpa. And then Adi, Sankalpa Adi. We know Sankalpa, Vikalpa, and then Nishchaya, Nishchaya Buddhi, Nishchayatmika, ascertaining, knowing for sure. That is Nishchaya. And then Chittam is there, memory is there, thought is there. And then Ahankara, claiming ownership to everything. When I see the table, I feel that I am the seer. I see the table. And who is that I there? Who claims the ownership, right? To the seeing of the table, the Ahankara, the owner, the claimant to all karma, all transactions, all bhoga, all experiences. Who claims the Ahankara? So that's all Manaha. The Manaha, Buddhihi, Chittam, Ahankara, the fourfold functional aspects of the mind, that is the Manasaha, Sankalpadi, Lakshanat, characterized by Lakshana, characterized by deliberation, etc., memory, thinking, which is known to be fast. Mind is known to be very fast. There is one prayer for Hanumanji, Manojavam, we say. Manojavam, Maruta Tulya Vegam, etc. Maruti, Hanuman is Manojavaha, fast like the mind. The mind is very quick. Hanumanji also moves from one place to another very quickly. He moves from Lanka to Himalaya. He came and then took the mountain Sanjeevani Parvata, returned back. Lakshmana was panting for breath, for life, gasping for breath. He was almost like dead, okay, was dying. Within that few minutes, Hanumanji had to come from Lanka to Himalaya, take the mountain, go back, up and down, okay, to and fro, not one way. Manojava said, Hanuman is fast like the mind. Why you say so? Because mind is very fast. Okay? So among the physical objects that we know, things are fast and faster, right? Car is fast than the cycle. Cycle is faster than the one's walking, etc. And the rocket is faster than the car. And light of all the physical objects, light is said to be the fastest. Okay, 300,000 kilometers per second. Amazing. I don't really comprehend what is it 3 lakh kilometers per second. I don't really comprehend. I only say, but I don't comprehend. What is 3 lakh? Traveling 300,000 kilometers, 3 lakh kilometers per second. What is it? I don't know it. I know 60 kilometers per hour, I know. 200 kilometers, 150, I know that. Because I have personally experienced that. But what is traveling at 3 lakh kilometers per hour, per second? I only know this fact. I just have an information, that's all. So light is the fastest. But then mind, even for light to travel from one place to another, it takes some time. Okay. They say, the sunlight to travel from the sun to here, the sunlight to reach from sun to here, it takes about 8 minutes, they say, 8 minutes. So 8 into 60 into 3 lakhs, so much distance light travels, right? So to reach, it takes 8 minutes. Okay. When we look at the sun in the sky, that is not where the sun is now. The sun was there 8 minutes before. Okay. So in a way, we always see the past. Okay. We never see the present, we always see the past. When I see you, when I see you, there is some distance between you and me, and light from that source reaches here. It takes some microseconds, it takes to reach, and therefore I see only past. I see you as you were some microsecond, nanosecond, etc. before. All right. So light is very fast, but mind travels to places, even very, very remote places, instantly. That's why Manoha is said to be Javiya, very fast. So, faster than the mind, they call the Sakshi of the mind as the truth of the mind. Therefore, Manasaha Javiyaha, etc. The Bhashyakara questions here, raise the question here. Katham viruddham uchyate dhruvam nishchalam idam manasaha javiyaha iti cha. How is this contrary said? Katham viruddham uchyate. Something which is contradictory is being said. Dhruvam, firm, stationary. Nischalam, not moving. By the word anejat, it means dhruvam. Kampa, change, shaking. Dhruvam means not shaking. Firm, steady. And that means nischala, not moving. It is said to be not idam, dhruvam, not shaking, steady. Nischalam, it is not moving, it is said. At the same breath, it is said that manasaha javiyaha, faster than the mind. Faster means movement, change. So, not changing, changing. Not moving, moving. This is contradictory. Katham viruddham uchyate iti cha. Manasaha javiyaha iti cha. Katham viruddham uchyate. Bhashyakara answers, it's not a defect here. Na yeshaha doshaha, because nirupadika, sopadika, etc. Bhashyakara explains. We will continue this. Do you have evening class today? Bhagavad Gita, you have? No. How about, Īśāvāsya, yeah, we'll continue. Okay. And tomorrow is Anadhyayana. Day after, Swami, Acharya Swami will be returning only late that day. Therefore, I will take the opportunity to cover some ground, Īśāvāsya ground. Okay. So, yeah, Monday 3 classes we will have. Today evening we will have, Monday 3 classes we will have. Okay. Since I am going at a snail's pace, so I need more time to become. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om